see.
Welcome.
It is Dr. Rodney Pearson, your host, and our co-host, Miss Christina E.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Wow, we are so excited about everything that's been going on. All of this week has just been a week of technical building of the program and just been working hard. And so we've been spending a lot of extra hours trying to get ready for the TV show. And so we just appreciate everyone who's been listening to us. We've had some great guests, Christina. These guests have just been
incredible. Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Awesome. And, of course, we're going to keep going because tonight we have a very special guest. Now, this young lady is somebody that I met, oh, man, I don't even know, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, 9 or 10.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We've had relationships over these past years. She calls me daddy. I call her daughter.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's good people. Her name is Kilalah Jones, and
beautiful
I'm
name.
so glad she's good folk. So, Kilalah, first let me welcome you to Crisis.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. God bless. God bless. Agape always.
Agape always. That's what I say.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello to you, beautiful.
Hey, gorgeous.
I'm
she
excited
kept
on.
How are you doing today on this beautiful Friday?
I am good. Trying to cool down. It's hot, but I'm good.
Good.
That's
That
awesome.
is great. Hi, and so you're in L.A. direct? Is that actually Los Angeles where you are?
Yes, closer to like Linwood, Compton, but yeah,
Okay.
L.A. You know, LA is really big. It covers us.
Right. It is huge. It is huge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, having Kilalah on our show today is very special because I met her years ago, as I said, and I didn't realize that she had been through so much until we got to know each other better and better. She seemed to just be this talented person with a lot of abilities. She's a minister of the gospel. She's when you meet Kilalah, what you see is what you get, all right?
Nice.
Yes, and she has a way of making sure that what you see
is what you get. I love it. Hey, we must be related, my sister friend.
I can work with that.
Well, Kilalah is just an awesome person, and so we don't get a chance to talk much. And when we had that cancellation of our other guest, Christina, she's the first person I called because I knew her story. I had been waiting for her for TV. That's what I really wanted to use her for.
Yeah.
So we're setting up so that we can Skype and get people from all over. So right now we're gonna go ahead and just talk to Miss Kilalah Jones. Kilalah,
yes, wonderful.
We have this great audience out here who's anxious to hear about your story of survival. That's what Crisis is all about. People who have survived. You went through a traumatic experience, similar to a lady we had a couple weeks ago. You grew up in the foster system. You also had a lot of tragedies yourself. Kilalah, why don't you tell us a little bit about your start? What kind of life did you have growing up as a child?
Well, the first thing that I had, the challenges that I came into, I was born to a deaf parent. And at the time of I was born in 1979. In that time, deaf people were not easily accessed to interpreters as of now. Now it's easy to get them, call them up, but now, they were on their own, and so there was a diversity in that, and then having to grow up really fast, learning to be a protector before I could be a child, be an interpreter before I could be a child. And so that was the first diversity that I had to come across, and I learned to actually speak sign language first before I learned actual speaking words. So
wow.
that is my first diversity that I would have to come across.
Now, most people, Kilalah, and see, Christina, she got me saying Delilah because she kept saying Delilah, and I kept saying.
He's like, let me spell it out for you.
So
I get that a lot.
You get that a lot. Most of us are totally unaware of what it is to grow up in a deaf community. And when you first told me about it, I was completely just unaware. You shared with me so many dynamics and so many pieces that I frankly had just never even heard of.
Yes, the culture itself is different because if being deaf, it's like even with the racism within the deaf culture, the things that makes the racism or race war go away is that they're deaf. So if they were pro-black or they were a Klansman or if they were skinhead, if they were deaf, none of that matters. There were things that kind of, for us as being here, what they call us codas, children of a deaf adult. For us as being codas, we were accepted into the deaf culture because our parents were deaf, but we really wasn't accepted because we were hearing. But in the hearing world, we were not accepted because we had deaf parents, but accepted because we were hearing.
So you call it, say that again, you call it children of deaf
Coda.
adults?
Coda is children of deaf adults. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Never heard that
That's
before.
interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
Okay. All right. So go on. Tell us more.
Just as I dealt with that, there were codes, and some of that led to some of the child molestation and child rape as well, because it would be so easy because of the bond. It would be easy to say, oh, I trust them with my child. They were easily trusting with us, with other children or other parents or other people or other people in the deaf community. So it was easy to be targeted. There would be times where we, right now there is a bunch of us could actually pinpoint one person that has molested all of us.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. That's so sad.
I don't know if I ever told you that before. I don't think I ever told him that before.
No, that's just kind of not.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing. That's nothing easy to share, but yeah, we appreciate you sharing that. And then what in your continuing on, like how old were you? Like, so you're adjusting to this at this point. So how did you deal with that? How did you cope?
I just now realize I've been going through a forgiveness phase in my life, and I know that I'm always continually going through that, because as I heal from one thing, something else will come up, and it's always a continuing. Forgiving yourself is a day-to-day thing. You're always forgiving yourself for something.
Yes.
And so I began to question, why am I struggling in areas in my life? I should be a gazillionaire by now, with me having the talent. Yes, gazillionaire. I made that up. I
like that. It's catchy.
Yes,
now,
I should be that many years.
How do you spell that?
Kuba. You know how to spell.
Okay, I do know that.
Okay, and so because of with knowing how to do sign language, all I would have to do every time I would go to school for sign language, for some reason the stress would just hit me, and I would have a seizure, and I couldn't finish school. And it was the stress of, now I realize I just would be traumatized being around deaf people. It would bring back memories. It would bring back unresolved issues. And so that took me all these years from becoming a bazillionaire, And so now I'm walking through that process to say, okay, I have a talent. Although things happened the way they did, but guess what? They gave me limits. I'm going to make peach cobbler and let them figure out how I did it.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you said some magic words there.
Now, I'm analytical, Kilalah. I'm analytical. They gave you lemon, and you making peach cobbler out of it. Okay.
Right. And let you figure out how I did it. Wonder how I did it.
That's amazing. Okay. Now, so you said that you were molested, and were these visitors or family members? How did that happen?
They had. I would say all of the above. The thing with deaf culture is everybody is related. Everybody's cousin. You almost don't know who you're relating to until you get grown. Sometimes, and that's why with my kids, I would always try to let them know, this is our cousin, this is our blood cousins. This is because of growing up in the system, because of growing up in one side of the family and not the other. So I would be, even though this is the family I grew up with, I still knew who my family was, and I always felt like adopted, clay, distant, twice removed, married. We still have a right to know who we are and where we come from.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. And so those people who were around you on a constant basis, these are people you trusted. These are people who you loved.
Babysitters, most of the time, babysitters. We always had somebody living with us. There was nannies. There were cousins if we go over somebody's house. Their friends. It could be anybody at any given moment.
Wow. Okay. So this was continual then. This was not just a one-time thing, huh? This was continual.
No. I remember getting chastised and getting a whooping for speaking up, finally speaking up because I gotten frustrated and tired and I was hurting a lot. And even to this day, I still deal with pelvic pains and hips not working properly because of the pressures of a grown man or a grown woman, thrusting their full pressure on me as a child.
Oh, my. Wow. This is, Christina, this is at a whole nother level.
I know. I'm speechless, which is...
Wow.
I didn't know what to say. You know me, I'm very transparent. I hope that this helps somebody.
And it will. It definitely will. And that's where, because people can relate in certain ways. I'm listening to a lot of my family members on my mom's side of the family are, they have hearing disabilities. And growing up, just in, some of them actually learn to do sign language in order to communicate with one another. And for me, myself, in my left ear, I've lost a little over 80% of my hearing in regards to injuries occurred from domestic violence. So, for me as well, I know how it is with trying to speak up because it's what's considered an unseen disability. So even if people know you don't have that and, if you are misinterpreting or miscommunicating words sometimes, it's kind of, you have to deal with, that humiliation sometimes, like, oh, I can't hear you or have, and it isn't easy. But then.
It's smart. Did you hear me? No, I didn't hear you. Thank you for asking.
And then I have a habit. My kids are like, you don't know how to whisper.
Right.
Don't tell Mama a secret because she don't know how to whisper. She'll be
whisper. That's funny.
But
we have those kind of jokes too.
And let's talk a little bit about how you overcame all of this. Like growing into, you're talking about these layers, and you're talking about constantly learning how to forgive. So, how is it, and then what you're doing now as well. I want to talk about, how you, because those that are listening, it's always good to hear, we hear you sound amazing right now, and I don't personally know you, but just to, see where you're at and what's going on in your life right now. So how did you adjust and overcome your experiences through your childhood?
And Christina, just before she goes into that, trust me, there is a whole lot more to this story, okay?
Oh, wow, okay. Let's put the brakes on right there, honey.
Yeah, put the brakes on.
We're going to, let's rewind back a little bit.
Surface. We haven't skimmed the surface of this girl's story, all right? So we're going to take the last part, but Kilalah, I want you to tell us more, because Christina, you're about to get your wig blown back, okay?
All right, I'm ready.
Well,
okay.
as a result of that, because of looking for love, now I never wanted for anything materialistically. I had all the latest things. I had clothes done, hair did, and even when I got old enough to get nails done, feet done, and all that kind of stuff in the latest clothes, and was able to get a job, I worked for that. So that wasn't a problem. But then the love part became a problem. And so I felt,
the love part.
The love part, and trying to fit in and trying to find out who I am. Although I always knew who God is and had a relationship with God, I went to church, and anybody that knows me and my family would attest that for me, punishment for me was not to go to church. I could go party, I could go drink, I could smoke, I could have fun, but if I got in trouble at school and I got a B or a C, I was on punishment and couldn't go to church. So the straight A student and the triumph of it all. So fast forwarding to it falling into the hands of a pimp.
And a pimp. Oh, okay, a pimp.
Yeah. A pimp.
All right.
So that's where.
How old were you?
16 or 17 when I first met him. And the grooming came, but I didn't actively go into it until I was right as I turned 18.
Okay. So that's when you became a prostitute at that point?
Yes.
All right. So out of the foster care, molestation, all of this family rape, if you will, and you go right into the hands of a pimp.
Correct.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And let us know. Tell us more about that. What was it like?
Please.
So that was it was very uncomfortable. It was hard to do. I didn't like it, but it just felt, like I really had no other choice because I was living with family, and I just felt like they were pimping me harder than the actual pimp. With
Kilalah,
money.
Is this sound on in your background? Is your radio up or computer up?
No, nothing's on, but I hear a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, I hear a little echo. Go ahead.
I think I probably just got used to it. So I just, when I got a job, I had older kids. If I digress a bit, I lived in the house with family, and there were older, I was the youngest of the second youngest of maybe 4 or 5 of us in the house at the time, cousins, brothers, sisters, all blended. And the 3 older ones had jobs, and rent was never a discussion. But then as soon as I got a job, it was like, oh, you need to, give up this amount of money, and then I would give that amount of money up, and then they would be like, oh, my light bill is due, so then they're asking for more money, and I'm only a kid, only getting X amount of dollars. So that kind of just led me into that kind of gateway, and it was just harder to maintain. I didn't want to struggle anymore, and it just seemed interesting. He seemed like he cared and he loved the way that he was speaking to me maybe the first little while that I was there, and then jealousy and competition was set in because they were older and younger, as we call them, the younger hoes and the older hoes. And so some brought in more money.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's so wrong.
Crazy.
She's so wrong.
You want the truth.
That's the truth. Christina, ain't nobody ever been on our show talking about older hoes and younger hoes. Nobody's done that.
Oh, no, all categorizing them. Nuh-uh. But it's all good. And you are transparent. But, my mind's blown away right now listening to all of this. Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm 38 now. This is happening when I'm 17, 18 years old.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I go through that. God, as things are happening and things are unfolding, God showed me a shootout that was going to happen, and I saw a few of the girls laid out, and so that scared me, and I began to pray and ask God how to move or how to release. I read Psalms 31, and on the 31st day, I just packed my stuff up, not knowing where I was going, what I was going to do. I just was going to leave, and that's what I did. And that was after being, again, raped, even in the game being raped, them not wanting to pay their money, them taking their money back, having to fight them to get money. You know, we done touched a few of them. They call them Johns in the proper term, but in the streets we call them tricks.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's when you decided to make a change in your life?
Yes, I had gotten pregnant out of wedlock. Again, still knowing God, still knowing better, just still trying to figure out what am I, who am I, what am I supposed to do. I hear, I see, I know what He's allowing things to happen. And then I just finally, while I was pregnant, just surrendered, like I can't do this anymore. And ever since then, I mean, that was about 21, 22, something like that.
All right. Wow.
See, now, that's interesting. Yeah, if I can interject really quick.
Go ahead, Christina.
From our previous shows, even tonight, and I love how you had said, you know, it basically, with things that we go through and experience through, you know, trauma, at one point, regardless of, you know, what we're doing, how we're dealing with it, we come to this point in life where we have to make a choice, and that decision comes to enough is enough, and we draw the line. So I love how you said that, because then there is a plan B. There is a way out. So continue sharing, please.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to keep everything in, I guess, chronological order. I still go through the process. I still go through, I dealt with depression. I dealt with suicide. I'm 38. I've tried to commit suicide probably about 36 times and almost succeeded about 10 times.
And you still have those desires now?
No, I'm not going to say that I don't. That's the enemy's thing for me, and that's something that I've had to deal with since birth, because my mother tried to commit suicide when she was pregnant with me. So that's some things that I know that the enemy, even if I think 30 years from now it's all going away, he's going to try it again. Like I forgot about it. No, I see you. I'm sorry. No, I see you. Like, no, I see you.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So, so you battled with that. You also battled chronic illness.
Yes. I have a sickle cell, fibromyalgia. I have degenerative spinal disorder, avascular necrosis in both hips. I've had a total left hip replacement. I've had seizures, stroke, sickle cell crisis all at the same time. 2015, I was in a car accident that left my whole left side broken: ribs, toes, hands, fingers, wrists. Frontal left lobe contusion. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, Christina, here's the thing that's amazing about Kilalah. Kilalah is a beautiful young woman. If you see her, you would be totally and completely thrown off, because all of this stuff that she just described, none of it is visible. None of it is physically.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
That's God.
So it just blows you away, because she is such a self-made person. She's an independent woman. She's has done. In a minute, when we get to this, we're going to be talking about her successes as well. We're going to talk about her businesses and things like that she strives to do. But you would never think that Kilalah, this woman, is the same person that she's describing. You would never think that.
Wow. That goes to show that God turns all things around.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So Kilalah, you dealt with all of these chronic illnesses, but you also dealt with domestic violence later on in life. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I did. I had already had my child, and I was dating this guy, and he was cool. And then suddenly, I don't know where his switch flipped or what happened or what was going on. But before I knew it, he was chasing my baby and I around the neighborhood with a steak knife.
Oh, wow.
But I guess hindsight is always, after the fact, 2020. Right. And so thinking about it, I remember how frustrated he would get when my baby would cry. He was like, why won't he just shut up? I was like, he's a baby. He just going to cry because he want to.
Right.
I don't know. The TV blinking too much. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Babies have you in the house doing feng shui, trying to figure out what's wrong with them.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. Stand on your head. I couldn't figure everything out. So that irritated him, or the fact that the baby couldn't eat certain things or certain diapers, which meant that money wouldn't be allotted for certain things. And then I later found out that he was a heroin addict. And so that was some of the hidden things that I didn't find out until afterwards.
Wow.
Because although I grew up in the streets and I grew up hood, I was only I guess privy, for lack of better words, or exposed to, there's the word, exposed to certain type of drugs, weed, beanies, cocaine, powder, sherm, which is embalming fluid. I knew about those type of things, but I never was really exposed to meth or heroin or any of those type of stuff, and it would be categorized as really not a black drug per se, so I really didn't know how to look at it until I thought about the movie Friday, and that's when I put it together, like, oh, that's what he was doing,
Okay.
So that's how I came up. So then that's how I dealt with that, and that was a really hard thing to swallow, a hard thing to swallow, because after I had my son, I was trying to practice celibacy, as I said, trying to get my life back together with God, but the drugs it was kind of like an inside date rape per se, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And peer pressure, and like I'm trying to do right for God, but then it was like, oh, you don't love me, you don't care for me, you want me to cheat on you type thing, and it was just kind of like give into it, or like I'll be asleep and just wake up with it in me type thing, mouth, hand over mouth. So it's like you either gotta let them finish or you'll be in more pain. So those are the type of things that I dealt with until I finally had the courage to say I was going to go do something, and I took my baby around the corner and had the police come and cart him away.
Wow. How long did you endure that?
Probably for about 6 months, I want to say.
Wow.
6 months.
6 months.
Wow. Now, was your baby ever hurt in a situation like that?
He popped him once, and I think that was I stood up then. I was like, this is not okay. That's not okay. He's not even old enough to be popped. He was just in his swinger age. That's how old he was. He wasn't even a year old. He was just a little bit off the breast, kind of just sitting up age.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so after 6 months, you just said no more of this abuse, no more going through this. What about
I'm done.
afterwards?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Was there anyone else after that?
I think domestic violence come in many different forms.
That's right. That's right.
Domestic violence I've dealt with as far as maybe living with people, abusing, doing mental games, mind games, which I think is just as worse as physical abuse.
Yeah, it is.
Manipulation, or trying to make me think that I was overthinking something. I know what you said to me, and then when I asked you if you said that, oh, no, you tripping. Like, no, I heard what you said very clear.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you also dealt a lot with church hurt. Now, church hurt is a big deal, and a lot of church folk don't like to talk about it. But we definitely have had several conversations about just the amount of hurt just because you wanted to serve God. Why don't you? Let's talk about that. How the church.
Yeah, please.
And all of us have dealt with that on this line right here. We have all dealt with it. So let's hear your experience with church.
Still dealing with it up to this day. I have people that feel the need to just expose me, and I'm like, expose me in what? What am I doing to bother you people? So, church, I because of who I am, and the more that I become more comfortable with how God has created, who He's created me and how He's created me, the more intimidated it's become to other people, especially, and I have noticed, and I mean no harm and no disrespect, people that go back to school that earn 10 million degrees that keep them warm at night. So I don't have a lot of degrees, and I have high school education, and I have some college, and I don't speak the vernacular that they speak, or the Holy Spirit don't use me like them. So there's always a challenge. But I grew up in ministry. I grew up in church. I was fostered by a church, a family. That's where a lot of hurt and manipulation. That's why I said domestic violence can come in that form too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
One, a few that took me in that saw what was happening in my home knew that I was being molested. At that time, now people quick to call the law on you or the system, but in that time, people, either cousins or family members or church members or somebody would come and get you when they thought something was going on. They didn't just turn you over to the law. They'll tell you until your parents get it right. That's what they did back then. And so the church came, but in that there was also the manipulation. I loved and adored this woman. When I needed stuff, she was there. That's why I didn't lack for anything. Whatever my mother didn't buy, whatever my aunt didn't buy, whatever they didn't buy things, the church family would buy. But once I moved in, and when I got to a certain age, I got to see the real them. It was the favoritism. It was, if you didn't act this way, would you act that way? See, when I was a kid, I could be a kid and I can do whatever, and that's what it was. But when I got grown, that's when I saw the favoritism in certain families, not just with myself, but other people's in the church. They were, some people in the church, they would help one family get tires, but yet wouldn't help one mother get a pack of diapers for her child.
Wow. So, for you, no, go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, no, that is unfortunate. I do want to just share that, even though with our experiences, because I've dealt with some things too pertaining to church, being mistreated and things of that nature. I know exactly what you're talking about as far as the favoritism as well. And I just want to let those that are listening, there are churches, though, out there that are supportive and would have done things differently, completely differently.
Right.
But and I believe that you had to experience what you did to a certain extent to be able to be here today. I have no idea what it is that you do in your life with your businesses or ministry, but I do believe that God is using you tremendously or about to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I receive that.
So your church
a lot. I've gone through a lot. With church hurt, I went through the experience of sitting under ministry and being yo-yoed. I have gotten sent home for making faces. Now, anybody know me, I talk with my face, and and I would always explain to them, like, you can't take it personal. I come from a deaf background. Our body language is everything. Our facial expression is everything. And sometimes my face says what my brain is saying when I'm trying to control my mouth.
Right.
So you really have to give me that pass. Like, did I say it, though?
So your face says it all. Yep, I'm the same way. It's like,
right. And I'm trying to smile while I'm sitting here looking like Garfield and, the Cheshire Cat all at the same time. Like, she's looking at me like a character because I'm trying not to say nothing. But, yeah, so I've had that. I've been yo-yo. My heart to do praise and the one thing that I've learned about God in this process is that God has given us many gifts. Gifts and talents come without repentance, but the one that we think we like the most is usually our favorite gift for us, but not God's favorite gift for us. So I had to learn, even in that downtime in church, of being yo-yoed, of sit down for praise and worship because I don't like the way you said something, or you had too many arguments, for the week, like they were counting arguments. I'm like, who is keeping record of how many arguments? It would just be crazy stuff. I've had people have meetings on me, and then someone will call and say, I was walking past Pastor's office and so-and-so was in there talking, and, I just need to call and repent to you because now I realize I was wrong. And I was like, well, what did you say? Well, I told them that, I couldn't find my baby's keys and you stole the baby's keys. I was like, what keys? They said the baby's teething rings. I said the baby's teething ring, it don't really go to a car or nothing.
Oh, wow. And these are the days of our lives.
Yes.
That's like some soap opera in the church.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm trying to tell you, I was going through it with these people. I was like, the baby's teething ring keys. I said, if they was to a Nissan, Toyota, BMW, a Corolla, anything, but these didn't go to nothing.
Wow. And church folk can do it like nobody else can do it.
Right. But that taught me, so much about tapping into the other gifts that God has for me because I love singing. And that's when he revealed to me, that's your favorite gift. That's not my favorite gift.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So you got to be able to praise me and go through whatever. If you don't sing another praise and worship song, what you going to do?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, and you're still dealing with that even today?
Yes, I've had recently people trying to expose that I'm a false prophet. I am not indeed who I say I am because I won't submit totally under their authority, or they kind of felt some kind of way. But the truth came out already, I thank God. So,
yeah. Well,
Amen.
And God, the Bible says, that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, and what is done in secret will always come to the light.
Yes. And I'm a fighter. I've been went live and said some stuff and did some stuff, and the way that things went about was supposed to affect me. I was actually supposed to be on a radio station, a show station out of Louisiana, but because of the drama they end up canceling me. And then tonight you called and said, you want to come be on the show? And it was within 24 hours.
Wow. That is great.
That is.
Yes.
Oof, man. So, I mean, we're sitting here and we're listening to all of this stuff. Wow. I mean, you are a survivor. I mean, now I'm gonna tell you, Christina. I'm gonna tell you now. KJ, I'm about to bring it out. Okay.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Here it comes. Now, Christina, this woman here, she has a ministry in the street because she can deal with you and your streetness like nobody else can. She don't take no stuff. And I always tell her this. I have never met anybody who is as smart as she is, but she will get on your level, and you think that you're dealing with somebody that don't know nothing. You think you're dealing with somebody who is ignorant. So you try to go down to that ignorant ghetto place, and Kilalah will slap you with something that is totally and completely above the level that you were just dealing with.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not playing. You think that you know something, and you may try to throw a big one on Kilalah, and Kilalah will turn around and say, "Oh, I've done that 5 years ago." You know, what are you talking about?
Yes, he's telling the truth. Hello?
Yeah, no, we're still here. She'll come at you with something, and then don't try to go on Facebook and put her on Front Street, because you will shut down your own Facebook account.
I hear that. Wow.
She will come at you, and you will call up Mark Zertenberger, whatever his name is, and you'll say, "Just shut me down. Forget. I don't ever want to be on Facebook again." So she's an amazing young lady in her own right. She doesn't get nearly the credit that she deserves, because what happens is most people, when they come at her, she's really very equipped. Her vocabulary, she just said something about, education and all that kind of stuff. But her vocabulary, her understanding, her way of dealing with stuff, she's just a brilliant woman, which leads us to, Kilalah, tell us about the successes that you have. This is a show about surviving.
Yes.
Talk about your successes.
Yes, it has allowed me to work on myself, my husband and I, and our family to have a goal to where we don't have to clock in, where we own our own equipment to do embroidery. We personalize clocks. We've done one for Dad.
Big. They do great work.
We do caps, mugs, printing, digitizing. I crochet. God has made us a good match, because it's like whatever I don't do, he can do, and vice versa. Any arts and crafts. We do candy tables. We just party planning. We do events. We do everything. And I think we're most proud of what God has allowed us to do is within ministry, and be able to touch every corner, and be able to bless some of the things that we do in our business. We most of the time end up giving away for free. We do our prayer cloths and pass them away out. We embroider them. God loves you. He has not forgot about you. Jesus died for you. Just reminders that the people on the street need to hear. So that's what we do.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
we own our own equipment.
Which is major, because most of people in the black community are people who are just in situations where they don't have a lot of access to equipment, or they have to pay. I mean, you guys have done tremendous, because you'll take a garage and turn that thing into a full-blown operational, functional.
And that's what we did. Yes, we did.
It's completely just a full-fledged thing.
And we have done work with great people. We've done work for Martha Stewart, for Snoop Dogg, Naughty by Nature, Lunel, Cat Williams. So we've got some good publicity with our work and good credibility with working with some celebs. Anytime you look at Snoop Dogg video and you see his name on there, that's us.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. That's impressive. Just from your story. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, most people don't connect your story. I'm glad you said that, Christina. Most people don't connect your story with your success, and that's why this show is so important.
Right. Mm-hmm. We were set up from the beginning really not to have a lot of things. Well, at least for myself, my grandfather did leave stuff for me, but as family goes through family, when you stay with people, so forth and so on, people kind of do what they have to do. And so I was just determined, my husband and I were determined that we just didn't want our children to have to go through that. So now when our kids act like they have some act right, they don't know it yet, but they already have a business set up for them when they get some act right.
Yes, when they act right.
Yeah. I'm not ready to give them something and they want to get some Jordans and spend it all on,
Come on.
On the latest stuff, and your feet is gonna outgrow them. Y'all still growing. Your bras are still growing, and your feet is still growing. And so I need y'all to prioritize before we turn over these big equipments over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, Christina is very familiar. She's also an entrepreneur that does so many things, and I definitely want you and Kilalah to hook up, because she does some. Every time I turn around, Christina's saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to this class. I'm doing this. I got that.
I like to be proactive, because as and I like to call myself, and I encourage, if anything, I promote it and embrace other entrepreneurs. But there's solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and intrapreneurs that are out there, right. And it's in everybody. I believe we have that innate quality to begin, type of business. So any idea can be put into a plan of action, and as long as it's going to better the community and people individually and in groups across the world, I'm all for it. So I would definitely love to connect more and put our heads together.
Most definitely. Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, she's good people. She's one of those people. She out details me. Just out details me. I'm a big picture person. Kilah's a detailed person, and we just clash all the time because I don't know.
Because I be getting frustrated. He just be like, that blueprint is fine. I'm like, you don't see this mess up right here?
And I just say, hey, let's just keep going, She'll stop you in your tracks and say, no, let's fix it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an awesome woman, and I just want our crisis audience to connect with Kilalah. Kilalah is a good person that will really challenge you, and she will also take the little bit. You give her a little bit. She knows how to build it. She knows how to throw suggestions and ideas. She's so creative. And all of this out of a woman raped, molested, foster care, family that totally deaf. So many times she's called in the hospital, battling with her chronic illnesses. text messages. But she keeps going. She keeps pushing, and I hope that our audience will embrace this woman. Kilalah, give people your email address, whatever your business numbers are, anything that they can connect with you that you want to leave with them. Give them that.
You can connect with me on Facebook. My Facebook name is Kilalah, Kilalah, and I use scales, SCALES.
Slow down and say that again. That was pretty fast. Slow down and say that again.
Right. KILALAH SCALES. That's my Facebook name.
Kilalah
and
Scales.
also my Kilalah Scales. But also my email address my email address is bluefireprophet is that Gmail? Gmail.com.
Okay. Bluefireprophet. Okay. At gmail.com.
Yes. The work business for KJ Design for you for embroidery and custom apparel. Phone number, it's 424-379-8350. My husband, Jamal Jones, is, you can also speak with him if I'm not available. And our email address for the business is KJS Designs, DESIGNS, the number 4, the letter U, @gmail.com.
That's KJS Designs at gmail.com.
No, the designs, the letter 4, and the
for you.
Letter U, for you, at gmail.com.
Okay, good. And
We're
Jamal
also on Facebook under that name.
Okay. Jamal is an awesome dude as well. My boy is just good. You tell him what you want, and he will do either one. He will do exactly what you ask for, or he will take creative liberty and just do something that will blow you away.
Yeah,
wow.
We try to give people what they like, or try to help your vision come to life as much as possible. Sometimes he see it. Sometimes we got to see it together. Sometimes he can take off. But sometimes he'll be like, babe, you see this? Because, I'm a stickler, too. So, but we get it done.
Excellent.
That is so amazing. Well, I do commend you for, being on tonight and for sharing your story. You are an amazing woman, incredible woman of God, and I just praise God for you, and I just speak nothing but continued favor and blessings on you and your husband as you guys, all your endeavors that you do.
Thank you. Receive. Thank you.
Kilalah, take this last minute or so and encourage somebody who has been through what you've been through. Give them a word of encouragement, all right? Take this last minute and give them a word of encouragement.
I just say, remember not just who you are, but whose you are, and stay in tune with God. When you find yourself in a perplexed place, find yourself in a worship place. And no matter where you are, the worship can be carried with you.
Yes, I love that.
You can get through this. You can get past it. You're going to make it. God has not forgot about you. If you feel like you're in the ocean of trouble, just remember that He's your raft, and all you have to do is float on Him.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Love it.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you said.
Yes.
It's so good. I hope that people out there will reach out. And if they don't reach out, just know that you've said something that hopefully people will pick up and be encouraged. We often get somebody who will send us a Facebook message or send us a text message or something, and they will say, wow, that was really a blessing to me. That show was really a blessing. So thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you for having me, Daddy. I love you so much. Y'all don't know, he's awesome.
God bless you.
He's so awesome. God bless you, too.
Well,
because I know I'm a handful as a daughter.
two handfuls, okay?
All right.
Well, we love you.
Right.
Our time
love you
is
too.
up. Thank all of you for tuning in to Crises. And thank you, Elation Radio. And thank you, Christina, for being with me again.
Of course. A pleasure to be here.
Yes. You all keep us in your prayers as we work on pulling this TV show together. We got the contract signed. We have several states. Well, there's a station, and we're going to be airing there in California. And so, Kilalah, we're going to have you back with us once we get the TV up and going so that you can share even more.
You are definitely coming back. Yes, you are. We're going to keep your feet warm.
Yes, I'm appreciating that. And don't forget to forgive yourself, people. It's okay to forgive yourself.
If God can forgive us, we need to forgive ourselves.
Yes.
Good closing word. Thanks, everybody. Right. This is Dr. Pearson and Christina saying thank you for tuning in to Christina E. Tuning in to Crises. Have a great time, and we hope to hear that you'll tune in next week, same time.